Just got great health care here in Flagler County, and glad to show anybody a little bit more about the hospital.
John Subers, director of the Advent Health Palm Coast Foundation, unveiling a third robotic surgical unit in Flagler County.
Advent Health Palm Coast and Advent Health Palm Coast Parkway are expanding its surgical program with the addition of the Da Vinci 5 robotic surgical system, the most advanced robotic surgery system available today. Dr. Stephen Brown, robotic gynecologic surgeon, says the equipment is a game changer.
Now with the robot, the blood loss is literally half a teaspoon. And this is why the patients recover so well, because they're not making up for the blood loss on top of recovering. They're just recovering.
The new technology, made possible by an ongoing $2.5 million fundraising campaign by the Advent Health Palm Coast Foundation, gives surgeons more precision and control during complex procedures.
We are ahead of the wave for a hospital this size and a community this size, but also recruitment. Surgeons wanting to come here, they're all coming out robot trained. You're not going to get a surgeon coming to a 99-bed hospital who's going to leave his skill set of robotic surgery off to the side because they don't have a robot.
And raising the funds to support the robotic program is in the hands of John Subers of the Advent Health Palm Coast Foundation.
Luckily enough, our community has been very generous. We've already raised $1 million of that, so we're almost there.
This year, the Advent Health East Florida Division established a comprehensive robotic committee to further enhance and streamline the robotics program across the 7 hospitals and 5 ambulatory surgery centers in Flagler, Lake, and Volusia counties. For Flagler's Local Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Thursday, May 15th.
Yeah, I think this is great. We definitely have a lot of shortcomings in our charter as it currently reads. We've had some challenges, obviously, so I think this is a great initiative.
Palm Coast Vice Mayor Teresa Pontieri expressing support for the city's decision to launch a year-long review of the charter. The review will include a 5-member advisory committee with each council member and the mayor appointing 1 member directly. No interviews or council vote will be required. The committee's recommendations are expected by spring 2026, with any proposed amendments potentially appearing on the November 3rd, 2026 ballot, pending council approval. Palm Coast Acting City Manager Lauren Johnston says public education will be key.
We've heard a lot of things from the public regarding the charter. We would want to make sure we do a robust public education campaign to encourage participants to come to these sessions held in each district. And previously, when this is done, we worked with the Florida League of Cities to help provide a consultant or a facilitator to navigate those discussions.
The review, required every 10 years, will include public workshops in all 4 districts. City Attorney Marcus Duffy.
The point of this committee, they would make recommendations if there are any changes, and then it's ultimately the City Council that would make a motion to add these changes on the ballot.
The city believes the charter review marks a proactive step to evaluate and potentially update its governing document with greater public involvement and transparency. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you.
On the top line number, we're in agreement as of last Friday.
State Representative Sam Greco gave Free for All Friday an inside look at the ongoing overtime budget negotiations in Tallahassee.
The legislative session was extended even though the House and Senate have agreed on a total for the state budget. State Representative Greco on how we got here.
The budget subcommittees create budget proposals for their subject matter silos. For example, I sit on the Transportation and Economic Development Budget Subcommittee. Then members also bring in, this is a very small part of the overall $120 billion budget, a very small portion, less than $1 billion, probably closer to $600 or $700 million, is what we call non-recurring member-led appropriations. And so those are things like the Regional Trails and Conservation Center.
Greco explains both budgets need to be in agreement.
The subcommittees will create budgets in their silos, and that happens on both the House and Senate sides separately. Then the large House and Senate Budget or Appropriations Committee will create their budget. Then we have to reconcile those 2 budgets in a top line number. And from there, we go into what's called allocation, where we say, okay, now that we have a top line number, back to those individual subject matter silos, how much money is going to go into each of those pots? And then from there, we drill down into the exact line items, and that's what's called the budget conference. And that's what we'll start next week.
Lawmakers have until June 30th to pass a budget before risking a state government shutdown. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Daryl Newton.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.